Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and welcome to this episode of Over and Out. Surrey victors here at the Keir Oval, beating Sussex by 48 runs to make it 4 wins on the bounce in the Vitality Blast. They're looking pretty in the top two of the table at the moment. I'm Rana, with me, Phil Walker. Phil, thoroughly professional performance from the home side today.
It's one of those performances where the Brains Trust, the management, are going to be absolutely delighted with it because all the things that they wanted to happen came through. But crucially, they had a lad who's just walking there, in fact, Ollie Sykes, batted son, who made a name for himself tonight. 44? 45.
From 44.
44 from 18, 19 deliveries, 4 sixes, couple off Tamal Mills in particular that were monsters as well towards the gas holder. And that's, as a coach, that's what you're looking for. You know that you have your bankers. Dom Sibley's batting beautifully up top. Will Jacks is world class. He's not just vitality class. He's world class, and he was sensational as well. But everything played out perfectly for them. And with the ball, they were hungry in the field. Reece Topley's given the attack another dimension. He cleaned up George Thomas initially to get things going and then saw them off at the end. The star with the ball, you know what I'm going to say, Mitchell Santner. Describe Mitchell Santner for me, because he's one of these beautiful mysteries.
Well, mystery's a word. You use it on commentary. He, on paper, is an orthodox finger spin bowler, but he is a mystery spinner in that you don't know as a batter what he's going to do the next ball, and there's something different each ball. If you look at the speed gun when Santner's bowling, there's a almost 15 mph difference in what he delivers. He changes his angle, he changes how much flight he gives it, and he's so good at bowling to his field. So yeah, orthodox spinner in name, but in reality he is basically a mystery spinner. He was excellent today. All the Surrey bowlers were properly on it, and they hunted as a pack. And there's a point after the power play where Sussex actually came back quite well, predominantly through Tom Clark. But you looked at the bowling Surrey had left. Santner hadn't bowled an over, Smith hadn't bowled an over, Jordan hadn't bowled an over yet. So they've got so much depth in the batting and bowling department. I'm going to ask you what brought you joy today, but the answer is going to be Ollie Sykes. It's always special seeing a young player make a name for themselves. He had one really good performance in the One Day Cup last season, hit 80 odd against Essex, but we hadn't quite seen it yet in the Blast, not because of his own fault. He hadn't had the opportunity, and today he's such a clean ball striker and hitting bowlers like Mills out of the park. That is a real sign of talent.
Yeah, and he's got a bit of style, right? Got a bit of charisma about him as well, a little bit of swagger, dare I say. The shirt's half in, half out. Deposits one of the great white ball bowlers in English cricket. 20 yards back, shrugs his shoulders, prods the pitch. Sponsorless bat as well. I'm sure the phone will be ringing off the hook tomorrow morning. Like, he knows that he belongs there, and you can't imbue that in a young kid. That comes from somewhere inside. You either have that belief in yourself or you fake it and you hope to make it. The boys arrived tonight, and it's great to see, really. Just going back to Santner, that's 11 wickets in 4 games now. 11 in 5 in all. He came after the IPL, settled in quietly in his first game, but since then he's basically dominated the middle overs. And you get this on this ground in particular. Sam Curran sets very good fields, and it's very, very hard for any teams to get any real propulsion in those middle overs. And Santner has such control of the situation. He's added another edge, really, to this bowling attack. And it remains to be seen how far this team goes. But you now look at it and you think, well, they're a quarter-final side for sure. And potentially if they get a home quarter-final as well, then this is becoming a very, very difficult ground for teams to come to. They can all have a plan, but it's that old line about, everyone had a plan against Tyson before you get slapped in the mouth. And it's beginning to feel a bit like that. I thought the Kent game a couple of weeks ago here was crucial for them. If that had gone against Surrey, then that might have halted their momentum a little bit. As it is, there's real impetus now through their campaign. And the good players are really emerging. There's a real nice rhythm to this team. There's not much to say about Sussex, unfortunately. They were down on numbers a bit. They were a bit depleted in the middle order in particular. And once Surrey took 3 inside the first 3 overs, the game was basically done. It's one of those, really. I think they've just got to Got to suck that one up. They've won 4 in 7 already, so they're still in pretty good nick. But yeah, tough one for them tonight. It was all about Surrey.
Yeah, worth mentioning that Sussex missing 3 key figures. Ollie Robinson, Harrison Ward and Tom Alsop all have had excellent seasons in the Blast so far, and I guess there isn't that squad depth that Surrey here have to accommodate when there are first teamers who are absent. Normally we ask, why should you come back to the stream next? But we're not on the stream on Friday, Phil. Sky Sports are here, but
You've got to give them a chance.
Got to give them a chance. But if you don't already have tickets, come down on Friday. The atmosphere here again was brilliant. The atmosphere last Thursday night for that last ball finish against Kent was electric. So if you haven't already, get tickets for the game against Middlesex. It's the London derby. It's always a good one. So get down here. That is everything from me and Phil. Cheers for watching. Oval and out.